trains are racing through lush jungles, diving beneath bustling cities, and gliding over desert sands. In 2024, railway projects are breaking every boundary, with Mexico's Tren spanning 1,500 kilometers through ancient ruins, Brisbane's Cross River Rail carving a 5.9-kilometer path under a river, and China's high-speed network stretching an astonishing 37,900 kilometers. Japan's Maglev trains are set to reach blistering speeds of 500 kilometers an hour, and the Middle East's Etihad Railway aims to connect 2,000 kilometers of desert terrain. What cutting-edge technology and engineering marvels are turning these dreams into reality? Brisbane, Australia's growing metropolis, is experiencing a growth surge because of its Olympic ambitions. To accommodate all these new people and become famous worldwide, the city is embarking on a series of wild infrastructure projects. Leading the charge is the Cross River Rail. It goes deep into the city's core, carving a 5.9-kilometer subterranean path under the Brisbane River and the bustling downtown area. Think of it like a fast train system quietly moving under you. Building these tunnels is a huge task. Take the Albert Street Station. It is 31 meters below the city. Every inch of space is super valuable down here. To maximize available space and create a seamless passenger experience, engineers are crafting something of their own. A network of mezzanines, walkways for people hanging right over the train tracks. But these aren't your average, run-of-the-mill mezzanines. And here's where the creative work really begins. They're using a construction method typically used for building big bridges above ground for the first time in an underground environment. Each piece of concrete used weighed 70 tons. These giant concrete pieces are gently lowered through a hole in the city center and carefully guided to their final resting place within the tunnels. Tight spaces demand specialized tools. A unique set of equipment was custom designed specifically to maneuver these massive segments within the confines of the tunnels. With the grace of a surgeon, 3 segments are carefully connected to form a single, unified beam. This beam is then rotated exactly 90 degrees before being positioned onto the cavern arches, creating the base for the mezzanine level. The success of this complex project depends on a digital copy, a virtual replica of the entire Cross River Rail network, built using the latest software. This isn't just a static model, it's a dynamic, navigable 3D representation that serves as a real-time X-ray of the project. This digital copy is a game changer. Engineering and construction decisions can be made quickly and efficiently, keeping costs under control and ensuring the project stays on schedule. Potential design flaws are identified and addressed virtually, eliminating costly delays and rework on the actual construction site. The model provides a comprehensive overview of the project's progress at any given moment, allowing for proactive problem solving and course correction if necessary. This isn't just about building a railway, it's about making sure the city will be good in the future. Other infrastructure projects in the city can use the digital copy to plan smoothly around the new stations, making sure transportation fits together better for Brisbane. The model will be used to teach future train drivers, keeping the public informed about the project's progress, and brief government officials on key milestones. Accessibility for all is a priority. Specialist needs and disability groups are actively involved in using the digital copy to ensure the final project works well for everyone. Cross River Rail is on track for completion well ahead of the 2032 Olympics. Construction began in 2017, with major contractors joining in late 2019. The project is set to start in 2026, showing Brisbane's commitment to growth and innovation. This ambitious railway project is more than just a tunnel. It's laying the foundation for a more connected and exciting future for the city. Forget everything you think you know about bullet trains. China's system operates on a whole other level. Think about a web of tracks that stretches out for an incredible 37,900 kilometers. That's nearly enough to wrap around the entire world. This network wasn't built on a whim. It's the result of meticulous planning by the state that started way back in 1990. The first line, a game changer that slashed travel time between Beijing and Tianjin in half, opened in 2008. Since then, China has been on full-speed expansion, leaving the rest of the world struggling to keep pace. But what truly sets China's high-speed rail apart is the clever engineering happening underground. The thing is, China's high-speed rail journey wasn't always about breaking records. At first, they relied heavily on technology transfer agreements with foreign train companies. However, in a remarkably short time frame, Chinese engineers have transformed themselves into the best in the field. China has the world's longest high-speed line, connecting Beijing and Guangzhou. But it doesn't stop there. The world's fastest line zooms between Beijing and Shanghai, blurring the lines between travel and teleportation. And let's not forget the world's first commercial Maglev train, reaching a mind-blowing top speed of 267 miles per hour. These are just a few examples of how China keeps finding new ways to make high-speed rail technology better. But how does China manage to build so much so fast? The answer lies in a mix of things, starting with an unprecedented demand. China's massive population, coupled with rising household incomes, creates a constant need for the rapid movement of people and goods across the country. Traditional transportation methods were simply struggling to keep up. Big cities wanted to be more connected, and small towns were seeking access to economic opportunities. So, the high-speed rail became the answer to this growing demand. The second important thing, standardization. Every aspect of construction, from the meticulously engineered embankments that support the tracks to the amazing viaduct bridges going across valleys, follows a uniform design across the entire network. This standardized approach dramatically reduces costs and allows for off-site manufacturing of components. This careful planning and standardization led to significantly faster build times, turning what could be years of construction into months. Let's be honest, building a high-speed rail network on this scale isn't without its challenges. China has managed to keep construction costs down to $17 million per kilometer, which is way less than what it costs in other countries. This can be linked to several factors, including lower labor costs. But it's not just about economics. China has also streamlined the land acquisition process, partly because of its unique geography and political system. However, dealing with these challenges requires careful social considerations. Resettlement programs and infrastructure development in newly connected areas ensure that communities benefit from the high-speed rail network, not just endure its construction. While cost efficiency is important, China understands the importance of balancing economic benefits with social impact. High-speed rail fares are kept deliberately low, making them accessible to the average citizen. Sustainability is also a growing concern. While high-speed rail offers a more environmentally friendly alternative to air travel, the sheer scale of construction has raised questions. China is actively looking for ways to lessen the environmental impact. They use big solar farms to power the network and are careful about how they build to protect the environment. They're making sure the success of the high-speed rail network extends beyond economic benefits and into environmental responsibility. China's high-speed rail journey isn't over. By 2035, they plan to double the size of their network, reaching an amazing 70,000 kilometers. A high-speed rail network so big it could connect every major city in the country. This is a Japanese bullet train. Born from the ashes of World War II, the bullet train has carried over 10 million passengers to their destinations at speeds topping 320 kilometers per hour. It's no surprise it played a major role in building Japan's powerhouse economy, the third largest in the world. But Japan isn't satisfied with just fast. They're now building the world's fastest passenger train, a system that'll move at twice the speed of the bullet trains and cut journey times in half, all by doing away with one fairly fundamental component: wheels. Current bullet trains are insanely fast, but they're limited by a fundamental factor: friction. Traditional wheels on rails slow things down, stopping the trains from reaching phenomenal speeds. But the Chuo Shinkansen cuts the cord. Literally. Here, powerful magnets replace the wheels, making the trains float, so there's no friction at all. This means they can go super fast. 500 kilometers per hour is the target cruising speed, but with test runs, they've gone even faster, up to 603 kilometers per hour. But how do these magnets generate enough lift for such incredible speeds? It's all about superconductivity. Normal electromagnets require a lot of power to function well, but the Chuo Shinkansen takes a different approach, using new superconducting magnets. These magnets are cooled to a freezing minus 269 degrees Celsius, a temperature colder than outer space. At this near absolute zero state, electrical resistance vanishes, allowing the magnets to generate a significantly stronger magnetic field. This translates to a powerful levitation force and propulsion, turning science fiction into a tangible reality. Unlike regular bullet trains that go along the coast, the Chuo Shinkansen takes a more direct route: underground. Most of the track, about 90%, will go under the big Japanese Alps. This is good for a few reasons. First, it avoids earthquake-prone areas, ensuring the safety and reliability of the line. Second, maglev trains need to have very straight tracks, and going under the mountains lets them make the tracks straight. This helps the train's levitation system work the best it can. Building these huge tunnels can be a significant challenge. The route cuts through the basin of the Oi River, a vital water source for the region. It's also really important that it doesn't harm the environment. Engineers are working really hard to make sure they build responsibly. This includes meticulous planning to minimize disruption to the delicate ecosystem, using advanced tunneling techniques to reduce water table contamination, and implementing reliable environmental monitoring programs. Japan understands that progress cannot come at the expense of its natural heritage. While the engineering behind the Chuo Shinkansen is breathtaking, the project isn't without controversy. The initial budget of $13.7 billion has grown to $64 billion due to the unforeseen construction hurdles and delays. This huge price has many questioning the project's financial viability. Critics argue that the money could be better spent on expanding and improving existing rail infrastructure. However, supporters counter that the Chuo Shinkansen is a groundbreaking innovation that could help the economy in the long run. Another consideration is passenger capacity. Maglev trains have smaller cars than regular bullet trains due to the unique design requirements of the levitation technology. Also, the switches on the tracks for maglev trains are more complicated, so it requires more time between departures. This raises questions about overall efficiency. How many people can be moved? And how often? Engineers are looking for ways to make the track better and maybe increase the size of the maglev cars to address these concerns. With China dominating the global high-speed rail scene and even developing its version of the maglev train technology in July 2021, some still wonder why Japan is pushing for maglev technology. Well, the thing is, a successful Chuo Shinkansen maglev project could be a game changer for Japan. They could even be the best in the world at new rail technology. That means other countries, eager to jump on the maglev train, would be lining up to buy this amazing tech. But it's not just about money. Let's talk about Tokyo and Osaka, Japan's two biggest cities. Right now, the trip takes hours to get from one to the other. But with the Chuo Shinkansen, you could get there in just 67 minutes. Think about it. Businesses would have more people to choose from for jobs, commutes would be a thing of the past, and people could easily live and work in either city. Tourism, trade, and national productivity all could see a massive boost. The Chuo Shinkansen could be the key to unlocking a whole new era of economic prosperity for Japan. When the Tokaido Shinkansen line, the first bullet train, opened in 1964, many didn't think it was a good idea. They thought it was a waste of money, but Japan kept going, and the bullet train revolutionized transportation, becoming a symbol of the country's technological ability. The Chuo Shinkansen could be the same too. The completion of the Chuo Shinkansen's first leg, connecting Tokyo and Nagoya, is expected in 2027. The full extension to Osaka is planned for 2037. The next few years will be very important as engineers continue to refine the technology, deal with environmental concerns, and improve the overall efficiency of the Maglev system. Africa is changing fast, and a big part of this change is new railways. China, a global infrastructure powerhouse, is playing a key role in building a large network of railways across the continent. The story begins not with the modern trains, but with a handshake across continents. The Tazara Railway, built in 1975 after the Bandung Conference, was the work of China and Africa together right after colonial times. Here, China and Africa joined forces to breathe new life into a neglected meter gauge railway. A damaged track, once a symbol of a bygone era, was upgraded to a modern electrified railway. This innovative project was the first of its kind for East Africa, paving the way for future advancements. Fast forward to 2018, and we witnessed the completion of the $4 billion Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway, a game-changer for landlocked Ethiopia. This huge project, covering an impressive 756 kilometers, connects the nation's capital, Addis Ababa, to the busy port city of Djibouti, with its commercial operations beginning in 2018. But the project wasn't without its challenges. Engineers had to meticulously plan and execute a complete upgrade. But just upgrading existing tracks wasn't enough. They had to construct huge viaducts, dig tunnels through large hills, and build massive bridges across valleys. The result ended up being a modern marvel that now serves as the backbone of Ethiopia's national railway network, making it easy for things and people to move smoothly. Kenya, not to be outdone, started its own ambitious project, the Standard Gauge Railway. This $3.8 billion high-speed railway opened in 2017 with a route length of 480 kilometers, has the title of being Kenya's largest infrastructure project since it gained independence. The construction, led by China Road and Bridge Corporation, a giant in the construction industry, built long viaducts, deep cuttings, and long embankments to create a smooth, elevated path. However, the project wasn't without its environmental considerations. National parks filled with wildlife were a huge problem. Conservationists voiced concerns about the potential disruption to animal habitats, so they came up with new ideas like the innovative wildlife corridors and elevated sections which were included in the design to reduce the impact on these important ecosystems. While the engineering achievements are undeniably impressive, there are still tough times ahead. Passenger travel times have seen a significant decrease, with journeys from Mombasa to Nairobi now taking only 5 hours. However, financing remains a concern. Both the Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway and the Standard Gauge Railway were financed primarily using loans from China's state-owned Exim Bank. Debt repayment is a serious issue for Kenya and Ethiopia, raising questions about long-term sustainability. Additionally, the use of Chinese standards for construction presents another challenge. Any future upgrades or replacements would have them depending a lot on Chinese resources, which could limit options emissions and drive up costs. China's involvement in Africa's infrastructure development extends far beyond these remarkable railway projects. Their Belt and Road Initiative is also financing hundreds of infrastructure projects across the continent. While concerns exist regarding labor practices and the drawbacks of relying heavily on a single source of funding, it's clear that this railway renaissance is laying the groundwork for a strong, long-term partnership between China and Africa. These newly constructed tracks could pave the way for a future filled with economic growth. In the heart of a scorching desert, they're building one of the biggest construction projects ever. 6 of the Middle East's wealthiest countries are joining forces to build a railway that's never been seen before. This railway will be 2,000 kilometers long, aiming to change how the region connects. But overcoming the desert sands and mountains comes with serious challenges. The price tag for tackling them is equally massive. Yet, if successful, this new line could be a game changer, uniting the Gulf reshape, its transportation sector, and kickstarting a whole new era of economic developments. Welcome to the 100 billion railway in the desert. But before we get into how the railway is built, it's important to understand why it's being built in the first place. Let's go back in time to 1981. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia becomes the stage where leaders from oil-rich nations, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Oman, gather for a political and economic alliance called the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC. For years, the black gold boom has made their economies strong, but a recent oil price crash exposes a vulnerability. So, diversification becomes the big idea. A regional railway that goes through the desert connecting all the countries in GCC. Fast forward nearly 3 decades. The year is 2009, and the dream takes a huge leap forward. A railway plan is approved, its price tag as huge as the project itself. A mind-blowing $100 to $250 billion. Etihad Rail, the UAE's $11 billion contribution, is an important key player in this grand vision. This huge railway, stretching 1,200 kilometers, will carry both freight and passengers through the desert. But building a railway in this bad environment is not easy. The hot sun dictates the pace of construction, forcing a nighttime shift. During the cooler night, when temperatures drop to a relatively bearable 30 degrees Celsius, construction crews work tirelessly. Yet, there is still the threat of shifting sands. Here, Etihad draws wisdom from those who have built before them. Dunes are subjected to a slow metamorphosis, transformed into clay over time. Their movement is tracked, allowing for strategic construction that goes against the unpredictable nature of the desert. Vegetation walls rise like strong guards, blocking the wind and the relentless sandstorms that threaten to swallow the project. The trains themselves are well made for the desert. They are equipped with a built-in sand filtration system and a giant plow at its formidable head. This is specifically designed to conquer the harsh terrain, cutting through the land. Stage 1 of the project lays the foundation, a 264-kilometer stretch connecting Abu Dhabi's oil fields to the busy port of Ruwais. Etihad Rail constructed 20 overbridges, 2 underbridges, and 10 underpasses from the sand. Also, 18 smaller underpasses were carefully constructed, anticipating future expansion and a growing network. Local creativity is really important too. 2 factories are built specifically to produce concrete railway sleepers made from locally sourced raw materials. These robust sleepers form the solid base for the tracks attached to the main rails with a fastening system, and each sleeper is 2.6 meters long and weighs 340 kilograms, ensuring a smooth and efficient passage for the trains to come at speeds of up to 200 kilometers an hour for passengers. But this route isn't for transporting passengers just yet. Stage 1 focuses on freight. They use a single train to carry up to 22,000 tons of granulated sulfur across 110 wagons each day. This element is extracted from the oil field in Abu Dhabi and processed for export at the port of Ruwais, where it goes on to be used in manufacturing everything from batteries to fertilizers and even fireworks. This isn't just about efficiency, it also helps the environment. They say that a single train journey reduces carbon dioxide emissions by 70 to 80% compared to if those trips were made by trucks. This environmental benefit is a welcome change for a region with a significant carbon footprint, and it's an important step towards a more sustainable future. Stage 2 pushes the boundaries further, extending the network by connecting the UAE and Saudi Arabia with a new railway. The Stage 2 project construction began in 2020 and will extend the network 605 kilometers from Guwayfat on the border with Saudi Arabia to Fujairah on the east coast. International collaboration brings the expertise of China and South Korea to the table, with a $48 million contract to be in charge of the design and building of the 139-kilometer rail line. This ensures that a crucial section of the railway is built with the best minds working together. Once complete, the network will link the country's major industrial ports and trading centers, enabling more than 50 million tons of goods to be transported each year. But even with the progress made on the Etihad rail network, there are still problems they have to deal with. Political issues and the ever-fluctuating oil price have slowed things down, pushing the completion date back by years. Additionally, Etihad hasn't exactly said when the railway will be open, but for a country that loves its cars so much, it might prove very difficult for them to use the trains. If you're looking for blue waters, sun-drenched beaches, and ancient Mayan ruins, the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico is the perfect place. But right now, it is set for big changes in transportation. Tren Maya, a large railway project, is carving a 1,500-kilometer path through the heart of the peninsula. This project promises to transform how people and goods move across this ecologically sensitive region. But the engineering feats required and the environmental concerns it raises have caused a lot of controversy. Construction began in 2020 with a clever strategy. Existing rails from an abandoned project provide a base for some sections. But for the new stretches, a different approach is needed. Surveying teams carefully map the terrain, accounting for everything from soil composition to potential sinkholes. Heavy-duty excavators, some very tall on tracks, carve a path through the thick plants. Following close behind are bulldozers, equipped with rakes and graders, shaping the foundation for the tracks. This shaped earth bed serves as the base for a layer of crushed rock, ensuring stability and drainage. Once the foundation is prepared, the real engineering work begins. High-tensile steel rails, each weighing hundreds of kilograms, are carefully laid end to end. The welding team joins the rails with heat, creating a long steel track winding through the landscape. Concrete sleepers, made in factories, are positioned beneath the rails and secured with heavy-duty fasteners. The entire process is a ballet of precision, with specialized machines ensuring proper spacing, alignment, and cant, the inward tilt of the rails, so the trains can run smoothly. The Tren Maya isn't just about laying tracks. The route goes over many rivers and valleys, necessitating the construction of bridges of different sizes and complexities. For smaller spans, prefabricated steel or concrete structures might be used. For larger crossings, cantilever bridges or even steel arch bridges could be used. Tunneling presents another challenge. The path cuts through sections of limestone bedrock. Here, tunnel boring machines, TBMs, massive, multi-million-dollar machines resembling giant mechanical moles come into play. They use rotating cutting heads to grind through the rock, while simultaneously removing prefabricated concrete segments to form the tunnel lining. Extracted rock is transported away, often used as fill material in other sections of the project. Environmental considerations are very important throughout the construction process. Wildlife corridors are being built, allowing safe passage for animals. Vegetation removed from the construction path is listed, with plans for reforestation efforts in designated areas. Archaeological teams work tirelessly alongside construction crews, documenting and safeguarding any unearthed artifacts, ensuring the rich Mayan history of the region is preserved. Tren Maya isn't just one train. It's planned as a three-part system for different needs. Regular trains will take tourists between iconic destinations like Cancun, Chichen Itza, and Tulum in comfort and style. Restaurant trains will offer a unique dining experience on the move, showcasing the flavors of the Yucatan. Long-distance sleeper trains will be used for extended journeys, allowing passengers to enjoy the scenery of the peninsula at a relaxed pace. The trains themselves are modern wonders, with aerodynamic designs for optimal speed and efficiency, and suspension systems for a smooth ride across diverse terrains. Tren Maya was opened in 2023, and an extension is planned in 2024. But there's still a lot of controversy around it. The size of the project, the delicate ecological balance of the region, and the concerns of indigenous communities have created a complex situation. Despite the impressive project and the potential economic benefits, people are worried about how it might harm the environment and change how locals live. If you like this video, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.